Greetings, we back with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about this Spider-Man movie. It's been on my mind all weekend. I went and watched it this weekend. Some good folks, and came out of that movie theater feeling conflicted. Now, I know it's making $1 billion, and it's, everyone loves it, singing his praises. And the trailer does help that. I saw the trailer, I was like, oh man, he's going to be fighting Boomerang, he's going to be fighting all these different, Tombstone. He's going to, oh man, this is going to be a crazy good movie. But I didn't grasp where they were going to go with the story in watching that 1 minute trailer. So, I watched it, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm giving this movie a 4 out of 10. Yep, 4 out of 10. I was not impressed. There were certain scenes that were okay, but man, this was a dark, depressing movie. And I know that Spider-Man is written. I'm a comic book enthusiast. I know that Spider-Man is always written with problems and everything. That's some of his best stories. But the way this story was conjectured and like put together, it felt like they were trying to do so many different things that none of it landed. None of it landed. And you may hear people say, well, it was an emotional story. It was very emotional. It was some very good scene. The only emotional point of this movie, and here I'm going into spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, turn the video off. But if you have seen it, here we go. So the emotional point of this story that everyone is harping on and talking about is that one particular climax scene where Spider-Man is trying to save MJ from the bad guy, and we don't know who the bad guy is, but we do know who the bad guy is. But they don't want the characters to know who the bad guy is, but we know who the bad guy is. But anyway, he saves her, and then all of a sudden, spoiler, Jean Grey jumps into MJ's mind and completely, pretty much screwed him over, mind raped him. MJ. And he's believing that MJ remembers him. MJ remembers him. That was the moment that people are like, oh my God, this is a spectacular film. I can't forget that scene. Nobody's going to be able to forget that scene. It's like you just it's like you just seen the movie Obsession twice. Someone gets taken over and starts acting out of character. That's exactly what Jean Grey did to MJ. And the most hurtful point of it, it hurt Peter's soul to know that MJ does not remember him at all. Magic worked. And not to take nothing from that. Not to take nothing from that moment. You know what I'm saying? But there was a lot of other things that bothered me, especially with Jean Grey. I didn't like Jean Grey. But, when you building a villain, as much damage as MJ did, and this was before she found out her so-called sister died. This is before she even found out her sister died. She was a loose cannon in the first 15 minutes of this movie. She's blowing up buildings, hijacking old ladies, driving a tank through the streets, almost hit a kid. Thank God Spider-Man saved him. This woman had no remorse. They showed MJ in the worst light possible. If this is the catalyst of where they're starting the X-Men, they've already failed with me. They failed with me. That's not Jean Grey, bro. That's not Jean Grey. Jean Grey wouldn't do all of that unless she had the Phoenix in her. And since this is the beginning of us knowing who Jean Grey is, this is the worst introduction of Jean Grey, in my opinion. But aside from Jean Grey, the Hulk, I'm glad we got the Hulk. The Hulk is big, you know what I'm saying? And he's back to being his monstrous, terrorizing threat as we know him as, and I like that. But, man, this story left a lot to be desired. I mean, for Peter to be sitting there for 5 years, watch his friends graduate college, and every night looking at his phone of Ned, it's just weird to me. Gave me weird vibes. I don't know where they going with that. You know what I'm saying? Are they trying to ship Ned and Peter? I don't know. Just weird because at the end of the movie, you know, he gives him that soul brother handshake and he goes, Peter. So I don't know what that was about. You know, I don't know what's the angle with Ned and Peter. Because it definitely ain't with MJ. MJ already just told him off like, yo, I don't love you. You know what I'm saying? This movie is just all over the place, man. This movie wanted to go back to what it used to be. But at the end of the last movie, where all three Spider-Mans is in it, you know, I thought that we were going to get Peter Parker as Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy, Spider-Man, as we know him as. You know, him working with Jonah Jameson. You know what I'm saying? Him getting a job. You know what I mean? All of those things. Meeting Felicia Harding. All of that. Dude, they had it right there. And not for nothing, before we even knew who that girl, actress Sadie Sink was going to be, everybody had assumed that this was going to be a complete reboot. A brand new day means a complete reboot. We're going to get MJ. We're going to get a real redheaded MJ. And we didn't get that. That sucked. We got Jean Grey, which makes no sense because that's not a villain of Spider-Man. Spider-Man has a huge rogues gallery they could have pulled from. But they chose Jean Grey, which made no sense. And it makes me feel that Disney has something to do with that because they needed some sort of enthusiasm for this X-Men movie that they're supposed to be coming out with. You know, the casting is okay. You know, they want to use MJ. I mean, they want to use Sadie Sink for, you know, Jean Grey. Cool. They already got Cyclops. I know they got an actor for Cyclops. They already got supposedly the girl from Ready or Not is supposed to be playing the White Queen. So it looks all right. Let's see what that does. But man, this movie could have been way better. I don't like it. 4 out of 10. That's just how I feel about this movie right now. And I didn't come to that conclusion when I first walked out. I thought about the story that I just watched, and I think that's happening to a lot of people right now. A lot of people are coming out of this movie like, oh my God, it's fantastic, it's great, it's everything, it's emotional attachment, it makes you feel something. Yeah, because of that one scene where, surprise, that's not MJ, it's actually Jean Grey. That's the only scene that I think people had a heart-to-heart with because that was so emotionally damaging to Peter Parker. And for someone to be that vicious, that evil, she had to go. She had to go. Spider-Man would not have let that just ride where she just rides off into the sunset after doing that much damage. That ending was terrible. Aside from the Ned thing, that movie was garbage. Like, how you gonna let this villain, this person do that much damage, get you shot, get you emotionally distressed, blow up a building, a tank almost hit kids, killed a whole bunch of people in that building, by the way. Time freeze a whole radius of New York City, and you just get on the bus and go. Who the fuck? Like, really? Really? That shit's insane to me. And Peter's cool with it. Now I know some people say, well, she saved his life. You know, she kept him alive while she got away. Yeah, but nah, man. That ending was terrible. That ending was terrible. And then the whole scene where, you know, Jean Grey jumps into Peter Parker's mind and sees Aunt May. You're special. You're just a special person. That's bullshit. That's straight bullshit. That's bullshit. Like, why would she have any type of affinity for his aunt? As much damage as she did, you mean to tell me it was because of Peter Parker's memory? Like, she could have jumped into any of his memory boxes. You know what I'm saying? She could have jumped in the memory of Peter Parker, like, you know what I'm saying? Whacking off for the first time. You never know. Like, why that one? I'm pretty sure Peter Parker did a lot of other shit that she could have jumped in and said, fuck it, I'm blowing this whole shit up. And that's what would have happened. If it was the wrong memory, what would Jean Grey have done? Like, that's just so random, it's stupid. So the writing for this movie, to me, is horrible. This was some bad writing. Anybody that's sitting there shilling for this movie, you go right on ahead. Like, to each his own. I'm not even mad at you because you like Spider-Man. But once you take off those rose-tinted glasses, you really pay attention to the story, you're not going to want to go back and watch this movie a second time. You're not going to want to watch this movie in the next 10 to 5 years. This movie is going to go in the back of your brain like, yo, that was just a depressing episode of a film, and I don't want to watch it. Like, you're not going to want to go back to this movie. This movie is dark. This movie is stupid. It's written horrible as hell. Like, and what they did with Jean Grey is just terrible. It's terrible. Hulk was just put in there just for show, you know, because there's a scene where he goes to the college. You could tell that's supposed to be Dr. Connors. That's supposed to be Lizard. And because right after he leaves Bruce Banner, on his computer, they're talking about lizards. So either they took out that part or this is just bad editing. But if you watch it, you'll see Peter Parker is looking at lizards. The AI computer that he designed in his lab is talking about lizard growth, you know? And it just didn't make any sense. You could tell that was for the lizard. So for them to put Bruce Banner in it didn't make any sense at all to me. And another thing, where's Peter working at? Does he have a job? What does Peter Parker do for his life? These are the things that we should have seen rolling out of that last movie into this one. So it don't make any sense. Like, where's Peter working? You know? Does he have a job? We know his friends got a job. They in college. But what is Peter doing other than just, he's a miserable wreck thinking about Ned on his social media app? Are you kidding me? This is terrible, terrible writing. I can understand if MJ had an app or, you know, a social media, you know what I'm saying, handle where he's just watching her and looking at her. But even still, that's just a little too stalkish for me. 5 years? You've been thinking about these people for that long? You didn't go out there and do anything? For 5 years, you couldn't meet somebody new? Felicia Harding? Somebody? Just weird to me, man. This was poorly written. They had every opportunity to add in every other, you know, character that's in Peter's life, man. Jerry Jonah Jameson, Robbie, you know what I'm saying, from the news company. They could have added so many more people, bro, but they just stuck with Ned and MJ. And Punisher was, I don't know, I guess he was a throw-in. Never watched the show. But, I mean, that was kind of a cool thing they had, the whole buddy cop thing. But even that was just getting stale very quickly because it's like, okay, where is Peter in all this? Like, he's still playing, to me, second fiddle to his own story because everybody around him is getting more importance than him. The only time that he got importance was with that moment with MJ on that roof. You know? We didn't even get the 6-armed spider. That pissed me off. We didn't get the 6-armed spider. Obviously, that's where they were going with the black eyes and everything. But they punked out and didn't even do that. And I saw an interview with Tom Holland recently talking about, well, you know, we wanted to make it a kids movie. Bro, give us Spider-Man. Like, just give us Spider-Man. Not Spider-Boy. I'm tired of this Spider-Man. I'm tired of this Spider-Boy, I swear. He's already graduated. He should be a man now. He should be out there doing things. We should have, all of those fights that they flash past us in the first 10 seconds of 50 seconds of it, sucked. Because I wanted to see those fights drawn out. I wanted to see more of, you know what I'm saying, Tarantula. I wanted to see more of Tombstone. I really wanted to see more of those guys. But all we got was Hulk cameo, him fighting Jean Grey, which is the dumbest villain ever in the history of Spider-Man films. This movie was so bad, I actually went back to watch Spider-Man 3. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3. I actually like that movie a little bit more now. Just to see the trajectory where they're going with Spider-Man now. Damn. This movie was worse than Spider-Man 3. A lot of people hated Spider-Man 3. I liked it. I played the video game. But man, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. 4 out of 10. And that's my take on it. Tell me what you think about the movie. I'll holler at your video in the future. Peace.